Hey guys, Steve the Amateur Historian with here, and I've got a little test to put on for you guys today. Since the assassination of President John F. Kennedy back in 1963, the Rosetta Stone of the case against Lee Harvey Oswald as Kennedy's assassin has been the murder of J.D. Tippit, a patrol officer in Dallas who was gunned down less than an hour after President Kennedy was shot in the Oak Cliff area of Dallas, a few miles south of Dealey Plaza where JFK was shot. Now, there's lots of conflicts in terms of Oswald being Tippit's assassin. They say, well, if Oswald shot a police officer, it was because he was trying to flee because he shot JFK. Now, I personally don't think Oswald shot Kennedy or Tippit. But one of the biggest issues people have in terms of whether Oswald could have been Tippit's killer is the amount of time he had to get from his rooming house, where he stopped off after he was at work in Dealey Plaza, the time and the distance it would have taken for him to get from his rooming house to the location where JD Tippit was murdered. Now, based on official documentation analyzing the quickest route from Oswald's rooming house at 1026 North Beckley to roughly the intersection of 10th and Patton Streets, a distance south, has been measured at 0.85 miles, so 0.85 of a mile, almost a full mile. So my objective is to do my own walking test as someone who not only walks a lot, but also walks at a very fast pace, much faster than most people. I get a lot of friends tell me I have to slow down all the time because I'm leaving them behind. I'm going to do my own test wherein I walk that exact same distance of 0.85 miles, only I'm doing it obviously from the front of my home, walking from the bus stop directly in front of my apartment to the intersection of Hanneman and Strawberry Lane, which I measured to be exactly 0.85 of a mile. So it's identical to how far Oswald walked. Now today, I am going to recreate that distance. However, the route that I'm technically going to be recreating is not one that Oswald could have gone down. It's just the quickest route from his rooming house to the Tippit killing site. Because the fact of the matter is, multiple witnesses saw Oswald coming from this direction, heading west, when his rooming house would have had him coming in from another direction if he took the quickest route there. So I'm using the quickest route to the Tippit killing site, and I'm going to use a larger time figure than was likely the case. So I'm pretty much giving the Warren Commission, who said Oswald did this killing, and everyone who believes Oswald was the killer of Jefferson Davis Tippit, that's his full name, I'm giving them all the benefit of the doubt. Now, the time I have to work with is 10 minutes. Oswald's landlady, where he lived, said that he left his rooming house at 1:03 or 1:04. So for the sake of argument, we're going to say I'm leaving at 1:03. Now, multiple witnesses who were on the scene put J.D. Tippit's time of death at or before 1:10 p.m. However, officially the Warren Commission put it at 1:15, and they established that figure after they determined how long it would take Oswald to get from his rooming house to that site. However, nobody puts the murder that late. But still, giving the Warren Commission the benefit of the doubt, while the murder likely happened between 1:06 and 1:10, I'm going to say it happened at 1:13. So I have 1:03 p.m. to 1:13 to cover this distance. And I'm going to start right over here. Now, when I Google mapped my address, the marker it gave for my apartment, which is right over here, was right next to the bus stop right out front. So I know that this icon for this bus stop is my starting point, and I'm walking this direction, going to eventually turn down Strawberry Lane and go to the intersection of Strawberry and Hanneman, and that will be pretty much to the foot, 0.85 of a mile. And one of the perks also going for me is the fact that I am 5'9½". I'm essentially the same height and build as Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm about as close as anyone else. And for the sake of timing this 10-minute venture to see if I can walk that far, and by the way, I'm one of the fastest walkers you'll ever meet, so there's not going to be any issue. I'm not going to be editing the video at all. I'm going to play the video in full as I walk there so that there's no chance for manipulation of this. This is a 100% valid test. And now I've got my stopwatch on my other phone set right here, so I'm gonna hit go once I start moving. And let's do this. Right here you see the base of the marker for the bus stop. We're gonna get my feet lined up just perfectly with that. And here's my stopwatch. So we're gonna start going once I hit play. There we go. And we're gonna walk. Now again, not gonna stop this at all. Not gonna cut this video at all. And you can see for yourself how quickly I'm walking. And since I have all this time, you know, I figure I may as well talk more about the case. I'm not going to speed the video up. I'm not going to manipulate it in any way, shape, or form. It's going to be you watching me walk all the way to Hanneman. Then I'm going to turn my stopwatch off, and we're going to see how long it took me to get here. And as you can see, I'm walking at a pretty good pace. I walk a lot. I don't have a car. I'm a pretty quick walker. If you watch any of my other videos, you'll note how fast of a walker I am. So there's no cheating in any way, shape, or form on my end. Now, yeah, pretty much I'm gonna head right down here and turn this direction onto Strawberry Lane. It's a little ways down there, and Hanneman shows up right before you hit the freeway. I've walked this route many times. I know exactly where I'm going, so there's no confusion about the path I'm gonna cover. But I figure, you know, since I'm walking, I may as well talk a little bit about the Tippit murder, that aspect of the assassination. Again, I'm literally giving the official story the benefit of the doubt in every way imaginable. I am likely adding time to the official story, or the real story, to go in accordance with the official story. There's multiple people who put the murder much earlier than 1:15. Helen Markham, the Warren Commission's star witness, you know, the person they relied on the most, said that she looked at her clock when she left her place and it said it was 1:04 p.m. and she'd only gone a block, like 2 blocks, when the shooting happened. So she ballparked the murder as happening at 1:06, which would give Oswald 3 minutes to get there. On foot, I don't think so. And I guarantee you, I'm in better shape than Lee Harvey Oswald ever was. If you ever see Lee Harvey Oswald, there's no sign, like, yeah, he was in the Marines, but he'd been out of the Marines for several years. He was gaunt, scrawny, no signs that he was athletic. And you may not think that comes into play with this, but you'd be amazed how winded you can get when you don't walk that much, you don't exercise that much. Even walking a mile can be exhausting to anybody. But nobody saw Oswald between his rooming house and the Tippit killing site, so we have no verification for what route he took. We have no reason to believe that he was running. Note again, I'm maintaining a very quick walking pace. And what got me doing this was there's a lot of nonsensical documentaries that have come out in the last, 10, 15 years, because so many conspiracy documentaries came out. The other side has had to kind of play catch up. And I watch these guys do their reenactment, and of course they don't show the whole walk. They cut the video up, but you don't know how much they're manipulating it. You don't know how accurate the times are that they're giving. And I'm crossing the street now because there's no traffic. And Oswald would have had to cross a street at least once or twice, so that's logistic as well. But they established that there was only, even in their test, and this was a very biased, our Oswald did it documentary. So, it was very clearly biased. And even they determined that the route that I'm syncing up with is the only way Oswald could have remotely made it there. And of course, that was based, they just take everything the Warren Commission did, hook, line, and sinker, when a lot of what they did was deceptive and inaccurate. And they followed the whole 1:15 time. And again, Tippit was likely killed no later than 1:10. And even then, it was probably a little earlier than that. And I'm going with 1:13, so I'm still giving a benefit of the doubt, and I'm still just, I'm moving along at a steady pace. I'm actually going slightly downhill. This is the one part of my trek where I'm going downhill, which is just another instance where I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to the official case, because it's all flat land where Oswald was walking. I've looked at it on Google Maps. So this is just another thing to give him a break that I'm going downhill like this. And we're now coming to Strawberry Lane right here. So I'm gonna turn and hook, and Hanneman is a few blocks down this way. And that will be the full extent of our journey. You'll note, I mean, see me blowing by these trees? See how fast my feet are moving? I'm maintaining a fast walking speed. Much faster than probably Oswald would have done, because it's not like Oswald knew. If everything official is true, and Oswald was just a guy on a run and Tippit was just a cop and they didn't know anything about each other, like, he couldn't know that he was going to encounter an officer. And yeah, he might have been walking pretty fast because he's trying to stay safe. Where was he going, you know? If he was at the Tippit murder site and then he ends up at the theater, he's doing a pattern like that. So he's going one way, and after Tippit he completely goes another. Makes no sense. And by the way, for the record, the concession employee who worked at the Texas theater that Oswald supposedly snuck into said that he saw Oswald come in between 1 o'clock and 1:07, which would be before, if not at the moment, when Tippit was killed. And he attributed that specifically to when the movies they had playing were starting. So it wasn't like he was just kind of sort of, oh, well, you know, it was during the 1 o'clock hour, I want to say. Like, he was attributing it to a movie that started at a specific time. And I'm still clicking, still, you know, still moving along. Look at them feet, kicking along. I want to say maybe not quite halfway to Hanneman from Webster, where I turned off on a Strawberry here, but, and like, I'm starting to get tired. Like, my legs are starting to tighten up. You know, my arms are even getting sore because I'm like moving them. I'm keeping up a very steady pace. I don't think Oswald would have even been able to go this fast. Again, I guarantee you, I'm in better physical shape than Lee Harvey Oswald was in 1963, and I'm already starting to like cramp up with how fast I'm walking. Think about the normal pace, even quick pace for people, and then look at me and how fast I'm going. You know, look at how fast this stuff is. I'm just selling that because I am cramping up really bad. But see, the road straightens up, Hanneman's right down there. So I'm gonna have to get my phone ready to pull it out and shut the timer off again. Ignoring witness testimony, ignoring or witness accounts of the direction Oswald was actually walking in, and ignoring time figures that were offered by multiple people that say Tippit's murder happened between 1 and 1:10. Even some people who identified Oswald as a killer stated in their affidavits that the murder happened at 1 p.m. And going a route that I know Oswald couldn't have gone in because nobody saw him going that way. They saw him coming from another direction that would have cost him at least like 2 more blocks, which would have taken him like 2 more minutes. So I'm going the quickest way, even though they couldn't have gone this way, and I'm shooting for 10 minutes, walking at a pace that I'm pretty sure Lee Harvey Oswald would not be able to match. He'd be back there like, Steve, slow it down, bruh. Like, I'm almost at a point where my legs are getting so tight, but I'm still like kicking it. And I've got maybe 2 more blocks to go. I know there's Todd and then there's Hanneman. So once I get to Todd, I'm gonna pull my phone out and get it ready. Actually, I should get it ready quicker because my screen's a little messed up and sometimes it's hard to put in my password. I need to get a new phone. But I mean, you'll note I'm still kicking. I want this to be this Parker's Drive I'm coming up to, and then Todd, I think, is the next one. I'm gonna get my phone out. This is gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to do this. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, god damn it. Unreliable phone. It friggin' shut off. It's okay though, because again, I'm playing this video in full, so I can literally look at the moment where I show my phone to the camera and hit play, see what time the video's at, and determine the figure then. So I mean, I brought the, you know, stopwatch thing along just for, you know, a verification and time, you know, but it's okay. And I'm like, my legs are cramping up. So, and it's not like being out of shape. It's just, I'm walking almost as fast as I physically can without it turning into a run. So again, and the whole objective of this is to, while doing as valid of a test as I can, I'm trying to prove Oswald couldn't have done this. Not on foot. And I'm giving him more time than he likely did. I'm giving him 10 minutes. Warren Commission wants to give him 12. 103 to 115. There goes my bus. Whenever I don't need the bus always passes by. And then when I need the bus, it's always 20 minutes late. All right, here we go. This intersection right here is Hanneman. So I'm gonna have to get back to my place to actually analyze the time, because I don't know exactly how long this took. But we're coming now to the intersection of Hanneman, right here. I'm gonna say end time so that I have a moment to know exactly when I get there. And I'm moving, and time. I'm at the intersection. So I'm at Hanneman and Strawberry Lane. I just walked as about as fast as I could. My legs are really freaking hurting. But that was 85 hundredths of a mile. Woo! Man, Lee Harvey Oswald must have been winded as hell when he got there, wink wink. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to my place. I'm gonna figure, you know, based on this video, the exact amount of time that it took for me to get from the bus stop to Hanneman, right back there. And I mainly turned around and started walking this way because there was a guy sitting on his porch who was looking at me like I was a psychopath. Maybe I am. But anyway, that was my time trial. And now, let's head back to my place. So, this is the exact route from my place to Strawberry and Hanneman. It says 2 minutes by vehicle. I'm curious, how long does Google say it's going to take? I'm going to click walking. 15 minutes. Of course, that's an average, you know, person walking at a casual pace, but still, 15 minutes, according to Google. I can find the exact moment where I hit play. So we're gonna start going once I hit play. There we go. There, and then I can do a starting point. And time. There we go. Right when I yell time. Okay, we have a start point right here. This start of the time test, end point right here. So this clip that I have cut, I'm going to drop it on the timeline, and however long the clip is, that's how long it took me to walk. So there's the marker at the end of the video, and it shows that it took me 11 minutes and 21 and a half seconds to do this walk. So we'll say 11 minutes and 21 seconds. That's 81 seconds too long. And that's with me going at like a blistering pace, like leg cramping blistering pace. I very highly doubt, even with the testosterone that may have been pumping in his veins, if he did do what they say he did, I don't think Oswald could have kept up with my pace. And it took me almost 12 minutes to walk that far, going about as fast as I could walk without having to begin running. And here's this good old-fashioned lone assassin theory bullshit in terms of how fast Oswald is supposed to have walked. And at the end, so they had this guy, get this ad out of the way, covering the same route that I did. They had this guy walk it 11 seconds faster than me. So, how much of a bruiser was it? How fast was this guy kicking it? Look at this guy! I mean, did you see how slow he was going? I mean, was he fleeing an assassination scene, or was he freaking going out to check his mail? You know, it's manipulated. They're not showing an ongoing video. So, I mean, what are you going to trust? A test that doesn't show you the entire thing, that completely ignores significant eyewitness accounts, details to the case. They use a guy who's definitely taller than 5'9", which I'm about the same height as Oswald. I gave them every advantage I could, and if Oswald left his rooming house at 1:03, then the earliest he could have gotten there to the Tippit site was 1:14 and, 20 seconds approximately. So I'm convinced by that time trial, considering the fact I gave every benefit of the doubt that I could, even in saying that he was going to have 10 minutes to do it in, and I booked it. I even had some downhill walking. About 10% of that walk was downhill. And walking to the point of cramping up, and I still couldn't do it inside of 11 minutes. There's no way. Oswald simply could not have done it. I don't care what anybody says. And, from there you go into the other details of the case, and you have to, if you examine them, you'll notice there's a lot of problems. And in the end, I don't see how anybody with any definitive sensibility can say that Lee Harvey Oswald was the killer of Officer J.D. Tippit, whether or not he's even the assassin of John F. Kennedy. So yeah, that time test, again, before I even did it, before I knew how long it was even going to take, I was thoroughly convinced that Oswald was not J.D. Tippit's killer, and this was just one element of that. He couldn't have gotten there on foot, logistically. He just couldn't have done it based on the evidence of the case. So, anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and this has been Steve the Amateur Historian, and I'll see you guys next time.